to Poul's Kitchen. This is Chef Poul, and today I'm by myself. Chef Amy's in bed sleeping because she got off work in a graveyard shift, and Alex is MIA back home with his parents. And today we're going to do a quick video on Italian style spaghetti sauce. So before we begin, let's hit the like, share, subscribe button. So what I'm going to do, first off, just before I forget it, I'm going to have a little cup of water, and then I'm going to put a little bit of baking soda. One of the biggest issues I have with spaghetti sauce, some of us older people have a little bit of an issue with having stomach issues. So, you know, surprise, surprise, right? So I'm just going to make a small little slurry here, and this is going to go into the spaghetti sauce. Now I've got half of a whole onion, or garlic, sorry. I'm going to put this into the food processor, and then before we do anything else, because I want this to heat up a little bit, this is really easy and this is going to taste really good and flavorful. So we're going to pour quite a bit of olive oil in here. It's a good base here. I'm using truffle flavored olive oil. You can just use regular olive oil. It's not a big deal either which way. Either works fine. So I got that on here, and I'm going to turn the heat up to 5, which is just a little above medium. So I got my garlic in here, and we're going to put this through the food processor because it just works quicker. You know, nobody has time to, really nobody has time to be going out there and just hand chopping everything like really crazy. So that's in there, and I'm going to put the phone down for 30 seconds, and we're going to put the garlic right into the saucepan, and we're going to let this cook a little bit before we start adding tomatoes and all that other stuff. Then we'll go over some of the other ingredients. Now this is just a base. When I make my spaghetti with this, I'm going to actually incorporate other things, but it's not going to cook with the sauce. It's going to be added to it after. Now, you might ask, you know, well, why are you cooking so much sauce? You can freeze this. You know, because Amy can go out and pick whatever she wants in the middle of a work week rather than spending all our time trying to cook a new meal every day. We don't have time for that. We're pretty busy, so a lot of times we're too tired after we come home from work, and we're not going to do that as much as we'd like to. So we're just going to let this cook out a little bit in the oil. It gives the oil a little bit of flavor, which is good. A lot of Italian sauces do have a lot of garlic. It is what it is. So next, we're going to put in a Chinese chili. Just one. We want to give it some spice, a little bit of flavor. I've got 2 sticks of celery. And 1 largest onion. That's what I was able to find. Sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't get what you want. That's life for you, right? Now, yes, we are going to have meat to it, but I'm not going to include it in the video because, like I said, this is just a base. So we're going to mince this really good. Food processors are your best friend. See how well that came out here? That's really awesome, right? That's going to go right into the sauce when we're ready to add it here. I'm going to use some parsley. I'm going to use some sage, some Mexican oregano because it's cool, and some pepper. You can use regular oregano if you want. We like Mexican. It's a little bit better. When you can start smelling the garlic, and depending on how fine you chopped it up and how much you chopped it up, it may not take very long. Now ours is pretty quick because it's pretty fine. So I've got 3 cans of tomatoes, crushed tomatoes. They're better to use in can than going out and buying regular tomatoes. If you can get them crushed, it saves you a little bit of time, because if you don't, and you can get the other canned tomatoes just fine, you have to put them in a bowl, take a blender or something, and make them into a puree. This is already done for you, so it's already done for you. You know, why reinvent Rome? Right? It's already done. If you don't do it this way, then you're going to have to do it yourself, and it's this extra effort that nobody has time for, right? It's just as easy. Now I'm going to put the phone down for this part, but I've got 2 cans of tomato paste. No name works fine, just as long as it's in a can. Give me one moment. You want to make sure that you're getting all the paste out of there, because sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain, but honestly, if you don't, you're just wasting product, and you know, make the best of what you have here, guys. This is literally the style that a lot of Italians will do. Now, Italians may use a little bit of different hot peppers if that's what they're going for. Some people may do a lot, and that's fine. They can use whatever they want. Use what you're comfortable with. If you got somebody in your family that likes it really, really hot, just adding some parsley in there. If you have somebody that likes a lot of spice, and add a lot of spice. If you don't like spice, and don't add it. Here's some pepper. You know, you gotta look at who you're catering to. If nobody in your house likes spice and you do, well, maybe it's just better for you to add a little bit of spice here when you're ready to eat it. And that's sage. Don't kill your family. And there's some oregano. This is not a very difficult recipe. It really isn't. I'm just going to take a little bit here and stir her up before we add the rest of the ingredients. You want to make sure you're incorporating everything, making sure everything's really good. Taste test a little bit. And like always, I'm not going to add any, I'm definitely not adding any salt to it. Doesn't need it. And you can take this and you can freeze as much of this as you want. It's not that hard, but this will make for a really good spaghetti sauce. It really will, and it's really rich too. I'm going to put the phone down for 2 seconds as I put the rest of the ingredients in. You want to make sure that you take some time to scrape everything out. Food isn't cheap, so you want to make sure that you're taking the time to really make sure that you get it all in. And don't skip this. Like, really, guys, don't skip it. Some of us don't like veggies very much, and I get that, but it's a little bit of a step here, and it really does add flavor to it. And it adds nutrition. You gotta have the nutrition. If you don't have the nutrition, then it's not going to pay off in the long run. You want the flavor, you want the nutrition, because if you don't, it's just like an empty meal. It's like, if you don't want to do that, then why not just go buy a can, right? You're making this for flavor, and I promise you, once you cook like this as a base, then people are going to be really amazed at what you're doing, and that's what's going to make the difference. So you're going to cook this until it starts bubbling. When it's bubbling, then it's done. Now cook up some hamburger, other veggies, add it to it, and then make your noodles. Voila, it's not that hard. It really isn't, but doing it this way really makes a difference. And the last thing we're going to do, and I'm going to add a little bit more baking soda because I wasn't really happy with the amount that I got here. Now, people are going to ask, why use baking soda? Well, the reason for that is very simple. Baking soda, this is going to be more of a story, but what it's going to do is it's going to get rid of a lot of the acidity. Now, I don't know about you guys, when you eat a good thing of spaghetti, sometimes it really ends up giving you a little bit of heartburn, or it gives you a little bit of stomach issues later. Adding a little bit of this into your sauce is going to go a long way, and what it's going to do, it's going to get rid of all the acidity, and it'll just be way better off for you. Also, if you notice, it was a little thicker than what I wanted before. This will thin it out just a little bit. So, I mean, if you have a really big pot, add more canned tomatoes. If you have a really small one, don't add as much. Just reduce what you've seen and just play with this. Eventually, you'll come out with your own recipe that will work for you, that your family is just absolutely going to enjoy. And this will be good, I promise you. So that's pretty much all for this video. It's not going to be a big long thing here. I'm not going to cook the whole spaghetti in front of everybody on this. This is just pretty simple spaghetti sauce video. So please do me a favor, hit the like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate it. I want to give a shout to my Mexican crew. You guys are some of the hardest working people in the world. Really, really appreciate it. And also a shout out to Jason. Jason, buddy, I know this isn't the noodles you're looking for, and the only hot woman here is my wife. She's off limits. Love you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in.